Yesterday, we started the topic of Sandhi. Sandhi is a very, very important concept in Sanskrit because when you pick up a verse in any text, or not even a verse, if you pick up anything that is written in Sanskrit, all you see is big, long words uh, that you can't start and stop reading. and and then you hear things like no word in Sanskrit is commonly more than two or three syllables. Bhagavan, Ishvara. Words will usually be one, two, or three syllables in Sanskrit. So how is it that words are primarily two to three syllables and there's so many long words? It's because of Sandhi. Sandhi is that phenomenon of sounds coming together next to each other and morphing or changing form to be able to be pronounced more fluently and fluidly next to each other. We naturally do this when we speak in English, but in Sanskrit, it follows grammatical rules and it is documented. So it is not random, it follows strict rules in Sanskrit. That is what we are studying. And I gave the examples of things like I do not know. We actually say I don't know. Don't know. There's no T in the pronunciation of don't know. Hmm? What do you want? Again, no what do you want? It's what do you want? Like that, sounds will morph and change as we say them so that they're easier to pronounce and they sound more fluent as opposed to rigid and broken up. So, Sandhi you will find happens between the last sound of one word and the first sound of another word. It also happens between letters in words sometimes, but we don't need to worry about that. We're using words right now. There are three types of sandhi. Vowel sandhi, where one vowel at the end of a word meets another vowel at a beginning of a word. There's consonant sandhi, where a consonant at the end of a word meets a consonant at the beginning of a word. And finally, visarga sandhi, where one visarga, or word ending in visarga, meets either a vowel or a consonant. And everyone knows examples of these. Saraswati namastubhyam. Namastubhyam is actually namaha visarga tubhyam. But because of a sandhi rule, the aha becomes s. Huh? Or you know how we chant Brahmar Panam Brahma Havihi. And some people say Brahmar Panam Brahma Havir. You would have heard that, right? Different ways people pronounce it. That is just a difference in whether sandhi is broken up or not. Havihi is where the sandhi is not said, separate. Havihi. And Havir is where that sandhi is not broken up. So once you learn sandhi rules, chanting also becomes easier to break up words when you're chanting. Because see, if you're chanting something or saying something, when you're saying what do you want, and you say it together, it becomes what do you want, right? What do you want? But when you're speaking, if you're going to stop here at the what, you're not going to say what do you want? That sounds weird. You're going to go back to saying what do you want? So this reversal back to the original sandhi, to the original sound, is what happens when we split sandhis and we pause in our chanting. Just a little bit of context of where it fits in our learning. Okay, so we had seen vowel sandhi. When you have a word, listen carefully what this equation is. A word ending with the sound a or a, meeting a word starting with the sound a or a, the two sounds combine and form a new sound, a new combined sound, ah. So a meeting a makes a meeting a makes a, and any combination of those two also makes a. Okay. Examples we saw: Shiva Alaya, Vidya Alaya, etc. Then we saw it plus it or e, a word ending in it or e, meeting a word starting in it or e. Together they join and they become e, one e between the two. So this original e disappears. The second e disappears. And what comes instead is one e between the two that holds them together. Then u or u, a word ending in u or u, meeting a word starting with u or u, they combine to make u together. Like Guru Uttamam becomes Guru Uttamam. So this is what we saw yesterday. I hope so far so good. Homework was Gita 11, chapter 1, verse 11 and 12, breakup. If you can't break up words, Sandhi will become very hard. This is the easy one. If you're not clear about your breakup, you'll start to get confused in Sandhi. Okay, let us see a few more rules now. If you have a word ending in r or r, meeting a word starting with r or r, together they combine and become, I think y'all can guess this. Everyone's smiling. Yes, yes, I can guess this. This is easy. What are you talking about? Who said I need to do breakup of words? Are you joking? Sandhi's easy, man. Okay, examples. Examples. Matra Ranam. Matra is mother. Ranam is debt. Debt we have to our mother that we can never repay. You put this together, what will you get? No, don't smile at me. Do it. Those with videos off, please turn on your videos. Matru Ranam becomes Matrunam. This is not very popular. You very rarely see it because, first of all, it's rare to see words um, starting and ending with this next to each other. That's why. Okay. Then another example will be same. Pitru Ranam. That will become Pitrunam. Okay, good. Okay, let us continue. Rule number 5. If you have a word ending with a or a, meeting a word starting with it or e, now what are you going to guess? Now guesses are over. What is going to happen? See, let us take an example, but we're going to break it up. The word gana. Gana means like Shiva Ganas, like a group. Hmm? What I want you all to break up separately each sound of the word gana. It should be easy. You broke up 2 verses just now. I hope this was easy for everybody to get. Good? Okay. Gana. Now you take a word like, well, let me do it a different way. Gana. Okay. And then you have a word here starting with E. Isha. Isha. So E plus Shahalant plus A. Isha is Lord. So now these two are going to come together. A word ending in A and a word starting with E. What is going to happen is that the A and the E are going to come together and they're both going to change into, I think everybody can guess. Do we say Gana Isha? We don't say Gana Isha. We say Garnisha. So the two sounds are going to combine and they're going to become an A. I want you all to visualize, see that the breakup is important because it's not that you're adding an A, you're removing an A, you're removing an E, and you're changing them to A. So now what you have is Ga, A, Sh. Get that? The A is removed, the E is removed, and A is added instead. And now you have to join the letters considering that there's only A. Okay? Okay, do another example. Maha. Maha is great. Isha. Don't just guess. Actually apply the rule. Because if you're guessing, you'll not actually understand the rule. And then when you get words you don't know, then you'll be stuck. So write it out and try and apply the rule to get the answer. I hope everybody got it. Mahesha. Good? So far, so good? Mahesha. Okay, let's do one more. Manasa. Do one which you can't figure out. Just like that. Indriyehi. Manasa, with the mind. Indriyehi, and with the senses. Hmm? What will this become? Got it? Anyone figured out where it's from? Manasendriye. Where is that from? Kayena vacha. Manasendriyerva. From there. Manasendriyer. That is manasa indriyehi. Like that. Okay, cool. Now let us do one more rule. Oh, let's do one more. Na iti. This comes so much all over Shastra. Na iti. Na means not. Iti means thus. Or this. Like that. Na iti will become sounds familiar? If you studied Upanishad, you cannot not have heard this phrase. Niti niti. What is niti niti? Niti niti is na iti. Na iti. Brahman is not this, not this. That is the only way you can describe Brahman. By saying what it is not. You can only tell what the reality is not what it is. Na iti. Not like this. Not like this. Okay? Okay, cool. That is an easy one also. Now let's go to the next rule. This is number 6. If you have a word ending with a or a, meeting a word starting with u or oo, what are you going to get? Okay, here's an example. Kena. Kena means by what? Kena. Upanishad. Kena Upanishad. The a in the Kena is meeting an u in Upanishad. And they're both dissolving, and they're going to become O. They're going to become O. You would have heard for sure. Kenopanishad, isn't it? Kenopanishad. It's called Kena Upanishad, because that Upanishad starts with the word Kena. By what? Third case singular. That is why it is called Kena Upanishad. The Upanishad that starts with Kena. Okay, next. Next example. Purusha Uttamam will become. Purusha is like a person. Uttamam, best. Purusha Uttamam will become. Purushottamam. Sounds familiar? These are all words we know. Huh? Now you know the sandhi that went into making them. Not making them, but the sandhi between the words that form them. Purusha Uttama. Purushottama. Okay. One more rule for today. If you have a word ending in a or a, meeting a word starting with r or r, what are you going to get? What are you going to get here? See. Maha, meeting Rishi. You've heard of someone who is a Maharishi? Sri Ramana Maharishi? Okay. But when you put Maha and Rishi together, you don't say Maharishi. That is not a correct Sanskrit pronunciation. Something happens between the two sounds. This is ending in a. This is starting in ri. So the rule is that actually what is going to happen is it is going to become ar. That means this a is going to remain as it is, and this ri is going to change into a rahalat. Now you have to combine the sounds, putting the a and the ra halat. So now is where the breakdown will help you. Ma, ha, r, shi. Where is the ra halat going to go? Maharshi. Not Maharishi. Maharshi. I got something wrong? Okay. Try one more. Sapta. Sapta means seven. Risha. Yaha. Rishis. The seven rishis. Sapta Rishayaha will become Saptar Shayaha. And that Rahalant has to find its correct place. So we saw 7 Sandhi rules so far. Quick review of them. A word ending in a or a, meeting a word starting with a or a, they combine and they together become a. A word ending in I or E, meeting a word starting with I or E, they combine and become E. A word ending with U or U, meeting a word starting with U or U, they combine and they become U. Then a word ending with R or R, meeting a word starting with R or R, and together they combine and they form long R, right? Like matru runam becomes matrurnam. Okay? Then we have a or at the end of a word, meeting it or e at the beginning of the word, and they come together and they are replaced by the sound a, like Ganesha, Mahesha, Parameshvara, all of those a like that are sandhis. Then we saw a or a meeting o or u becomes o. Kenopanishad, Kathopanishad, Katha Upanishad becomes Kathopanishad. Purusha Uttamam, Purushottamam, like that. And then finally, a or a, meeting r or ri, becomes ar. Ar. Maharishi becomes Maharshi. Okay, so these are the Sandhi rules we have seen. Now for homework, you have to join some words. So I'm going to do one as an example with all of you. I know it's 6:31. This will make your homework easier and you won't have questions. Kripaya avishtam. So what you're going to do is you're going to first write the Sandhi rule. It is going to be redundant, you're going to feel, but you have to do it because it's what's going to let it stick. You have an a meeting an a, and they're going to give you an a. First thing you write, okay? Then you actually write the answer. We're not doing meanings, we're just doing Sandhi combinations of words. All of these words are from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. When you study chapter 2, you will learn the meanings of all of them. But for now, we're just taking words and putting them together. So I will send this page to you, and there are 23 if I counted right. I've written it in transliteration also, so it's easy for you all to read if you're struggling with the Sanskrit. Main thing is catch the concept of combining the sounds in Sandhi. Okay? Closing prayer, and I'll see you tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay, I'll take questions now.